Mayor Greenberg joins us now live this morning. Mr. Mayor, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So sorry for what you and your city are going through right now. Before we talk about some of the issues you raised yesterday, what is the condition, if you're aware, of some of the victims still in the hospital, including the rookie police officer, Nicholas Wilt, 26-year-old, who bravely rushed into the gunfire inside that bank?
Officer Wilt, good morning. Willie, Officer Wilt is in stable condition right now. He is definitely still fighting. There is no doubt in my mind that Dr. Smith, who you heard from earlier, and other doctors and nurses at the University of Louisville Hospital have saved his life, and he is still fighting for his life, and we are praying and supporting for him. But we understand he had a good day yesterday and has stabilized in his condition somewhat. The other victims who have not passed are doing well and hopefully are all on the road to recovery right now. So we are optimistic about their futures as well. But that does not minimize the tragedy of the 5 victims that were lost as a result of this shooting, and every victim that's lost as the result of gun violence.
So let's talk about that, and we'll take that as just a sliver of good news, at least, that those victims still in the hospital are doing a little bit better. Do I have it right that in the state of Kentucky, by state law, even if you wanted to impose new restrictions or tighten up gun laws in some ways, or put in, let's say, a red flag law, as a mayor, you just couldn't do it because the state law says municipalities cannot make their own gun laws?
That's correct. And not only that, Willie, but it actually is even more crazy than that. I, as the mayor, would be committing a crime if I seek to create or enforce any type of regulation to reduce the amount of gun violence in our city. That is absurd. That is dangerous. That's why I'm asking my friends in the state legislature to give us local autonomy to make our own decisions about how we can uniquely reduce gun violence in our city of Louisville.
We understand the conversation in Kentucky about guns, or in Tennessee, that we've been having for the last couple of weeks is much different than it might be, say, here in New York or up in Massachusetts or something like that. But what in your mind is reasonable with the shock and the tragedy of this ongoing deluge of incidents of gun violence? What is reasonable to expect in the state of Kentucky? What could change in your mind?
Well, I think there are several things. In addition to giving us local autonomy, we could look at some red flag laws, as you all mentioned earlier. The shooter, as we mentioned yesterday, we released that he bought the gun just recently in the situation in my workplace shooting just over a year ago in our campaign office, where a gunman entered our office and fired 6 shots at me from close range. He had bought that gun only an hour before he entered our office. So maybe there's some room there. The other crazy Kentucky law is that right now, that assault rifle that was used to kill 5 people yesterday and used to fire on police officers who were coming heroically to the rescue will one day be turned over to the state and then auctioned off and could end up back on the street and used to commit another crime. That's nuts. I want to have the authority in Louisville where we can destroy illegal guns, where we can destroy confiscated guns, so that guns that are used to commit a crime are never used to commit another crime again.
And I understand that that's the law, that they turn over a weapon used to slaughter people inside a bank and auction it off, so that no AR-15 will go to waste, that you've tried to at least put stickers on them and say, this is what happened with this gun, here's a warning about this gun, pull out the pin so they'd have to repair it at least to use it again. What is the rationale behind that law? What's the justification for that?
I have no clue. We are doing what we can. We're removing the firing pins now before we're turning them over to the state. That's the furthest that we can go. The money that is used from the proceeds of these auctions is used for a good cause. It's used for equipment for police departments across the state. That is certainly an important cause. That's a cause that I support. That is not a lot of money. We can ensure from a local level and a state level that police departments have the resources they need to keep us safe and to protect every officer. I am firmly committed to that goal. We don't need to be auctioning off illegal guns and confiscated guns and putting them back on the street to keep our officers safe. We have funds to do that through other means.
Mike, we've reached the point of the era of gun violence in this country where you have the mayor having survived a workplace shooting now experiencing another one as mayor. We had the young woman at Michigan State a couple of months ago who also had survived the Oxford High School shooting. This is an era where people now are going into their second shooting in public.
Yeah, and this is also an era now where, first and second graders are taught how to hide under desks or go to locked rooms as part of their initiation into public education in school after school after school in this country. Mr. Mayor, as you know, sadly, the national media will move on in a few days from this story, and we'll be there the next time, perhaps next week or perhaps this coming weekend, we don't know, when another mass shooting will occur. But you live with the ripple effects of what happened in your city. You know these people. Could you speak to those ripple effects? We saw a picture of a couple of the victims, a young woman who just moved back to Louisville. We saw a picture of a father who's now dead with 2 small children and his wife. We saw that picture. The ripple effect of those people, those survivors who will never, ever, ever get over what happened yesterday.
The impact from gun violence is enormous. It impacts the families and the loved ones, as you're talking about. It impacts our entire community. And whether it's a mass shooting that happened earlier this week in Louisville, or whether it's an individual targeted shooting that happens on another street corner somewhere else in our city or any city, the impacts of gun violence are becoming far too unbearable for cities like Louisville and other cities across the country, and that's why we need to do something. I am hopeful. I woke up this morning optimistic. After our comments yesterday, the outreach that I received from others around the community, from lawmakers on our city council, in our state legislature, that reached out and said, can we talk? Let's have a conversation. This is time to have a conversation. So I am waking up this morning cautiously optimistic that we can work together, and even when the news media moves on, that we in Louisville, that we in Kentucky will be working together. We will put politics aside to begin to implement steps to reduce the amount of gun violence in our city, in our state, and ultimately our country.
Let's hope that's the beginning of a productive conversation for you and the people of your city. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg. Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for your time this morning. And again, our condolences to you and the people of your city for this dark week that you're suffering through right now. Thank you. As I mentioned,
thank you very much.